Sensei, can you take judge in a boxing match? I don't like talking about that kind of stuff, but I did get asked that yesterday on PKA, and I gave a bit of, I gave a more satisfying answer to that, right? So when PKA comes out tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow, you know, go ahead and check that out. I was recently, yesterday, I was on PKA, Painkiller already. Man, it's still crazy to me that I was able to do that. Unfortunately, I do feel like I kind of bombed, I'm not going to lie. If you can even bomb on a podcast, but I do feel that I kind of bombed. You know, it's my fault. I was sick. I probably should have asked them if I could reschedule, but I was also like, I don't know, man. Will that screw them up? I feel like they were already kind of planning around me. So I was just like, dude, like I gotta, you know, I just gotta go through with it. But man, like I was not good yesterday. I was not good, and I'm still kind of fucked up today. But I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday. Don't get me wrong. It's not like terrible. It's not like I sat there completely silent for 4 hours. But I feel that there were definitely things that I kind of let slip by because I was not nearly as sharp as I could have been. And you guys will notice too. There's things where like Kyle was talking about something, or maybe Woody. And, like, it would have been the perfect time for me to be like, oh, yeah, and I just completely, it just didn't work out, right? But, you know, that kind of thing will happen. Oh, well. Hopefully they'd be willing to have me on at a later date. You know, I'm not gonna pressure them for that or anything like that. I was very surprised and very grateful at the opportunity in the first place. Thank you, Taylor, fucking Kyle, Woody, you know, and you know, the production for having me on. But that will be out soon. Yeah, I mean, we talked about some stuff that was interesting, you know, and then there were some things, I'll be honest with you, that I really didn't feel like I could talk about. It's not even just that I was sick, it's that, like, I don't watch sports like I used to. So when the sports talk came up and they were talking about the NFL and other things like that, I was like, oh fuck, it's like they're speaking Greek, dude. Shit, what are they saying, dude? Holy fuck, how do I interject in this, right? But overall, like, I don't think it was terrible. But I do feel that I kind of dropped the ball in some instances on the podcast. But, you know, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. You guys are too nice to me sometimes, though, so I feel like you're going to watch it and you're going to be like, whoa, dude, you were great. I'm kind of learning how to take everything in terms of the internet, whether it's praise or criticism. Now, there's people out there, right, who, you know, they get really into somebody and, like, everything they do is just, like, the greatest thing ever. And they're like, whoa, wow, dude, wow, this is great. And they'll tell somebody that their stuff is great when their stuff is dog shit. There's people who will dick ride, right? And, again, I'm not saying this is any of you guys, right? I'm just saying, like, I try to be very careful when somebody pays me a compliment to not let it go to my head. Because I don't know if they're just a dick rider. I don't know if they're just, like, because I was on Fish Tank and, you know, I've been in a couple other MDE things, and because, like, I was on PKA recently. I don't know if they're potentially just, like, saying nice things because I'm kind of doing this right now, when at any point I could do that. Obviously. In addition to that, there's also a flip side where there's people that are just going to hate for literally no reason other than the fact that that's just what they find to be fun. And they're going to be trying to put rats in your head because that's interesting to them, right? I'm kind of learning how to balance those kinds of people and those kinds of things. There's some people on the internet who they're like, oh, dude, you just can't, don't read the comments. Don't read the this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I agree, it's probably better if I don't read comments and stuff like that, but also I really enjoy reading comments. I like it. So if I'm gonna do it, I should probably have thick enough skin as to where whenever somebody says some shit, I'm not like, grr. The episode was released in what I would assume is like an early access form. And of course, I left a comment saying like, hey, thanks for having me on, guys. And of course, there's some people who are like, you were a great guest, but then there's other people who were like, alright, like, these are weirdo losers on the internet where it doesn't matter if I did great or not so great. They're gonna sit there and be like, they're gonna talk their shit no matter what. So it's like, whatever, you know? And that's what Season 2 of Fish Tank really taught me, is that there's gonna be shit talkers, and they're gonna shit talk not even because they legitimately dislike me, but because they're just like pussies. And that's what pussies do, is they shit talk over the internet. Either that, or maybe for some weird reason, they genuinely don't like me. I was talking to Sam after the finale on Saturday, and I was talking to him about like how I'm branching out in my content and stuff like that, and he gave me some decent advice that I'm gonna be, you know, following up on. And one of the things I ended up saying to him is that I'm sitting here quoting myself like some kind of fucking like dickhead, but if somebody doesn't like me, I want it to be their fault. I don't want to be the kind of person where you have a good reason to dislike me. I want to be someone like Wendigoon, right? Or Internet Historian. Those are guys where if you tell me you don't like them on a personal level, my first thought is like, what is this guy's problem? You know, because Wendigoon is what you see on the internet. He's just such like a nice guy. Same thing with Internet Historian. Like, Internet Historian doesn't seem like the type of dude to get in drama, because I don't just see him around like that. I feel like he just does his videos and then he shuts up. And that's that. So it's like, if you have a problem with Internet Historian, Wendigoon, if you have a problem with those guys, it's probably your problem. It's probably your fault, right? It's one of those situations where it's like, I'm not saying I'm never going to do anything wrong. I'm not saying I'm never going to have a bad day. I mean, like I said, I think I had a bad day yesterday. But if you genuinely don't like me, I don't want you to have a reason to do so. And as of right now, I don't believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe I've given anyone a reason to genuinely dislike me. You know, so it's like, if somebody is talking to me as though I am truly like a bad person or something like that, it's like, well, I mean, what's this guy's problem? It's probably his problem, not mine. PKA is Painkiller Already. You guys remember FPS Russia, right? I would hope you do. There's him, you know, his real name's Kyle. Oh, there's Taylor, there's Woody. They're kind of like OGs of the internet, right? OGs of like the YouTube sphere. And it's one of the longest running YouTube podcasts, I'd say. If not, it is just the longest. A bunch of people go on it. Like, Harley's been on it, Wendigoon's been on it, Sam, Jet, they've been on it, Brandon Buckingham. So like, that's why I'm so excited about it, is that like I got to stand where all these dudes that I look up to a degree, right? Well, when it comes to content creation and like where like these guys have been, I look up to them to a degree. It was just really cool to be able to get on that podcast, you know? So that's why, even though I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit, right? Because I feel that it was a lackluster performance on my end, I'm still just so stoked about it. Right, I'm just so fucking happy that I was able to get on there, you know? I hope they liked me enough to have me back someday. Obviously, I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm saying that, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, they'll hit me up, or more likely I'll hit them up and be like, hey, you know, and they'll be like, oh yeah, come back on, you know, that'd be nice. I had a good time despite me kind of being like that, right? And I hope they liked me, right?